Crypto's been in the spotlight for years, hyped, hated, and everything in between. But while most were watching the price of Bitcoin, something bigger was quietly brewing in Washington. Congress passed a new law called the Genius Act, and it's paving the way for how stablecoin cryptocurrencies could shape the future of digital money in America. Today, we'll break it down in plain English. What is the Genius Act? Why was it created? And what does it mean for the future of crypto, the dollar, and your wallet? Let's get into it. Genius is short for the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act of 2025. Yeah, it's a mouthful. But the big idea is simple. Bring clear rules to stablecoins. So how did we get here? Crypto started with Bitcoin back in 2009, a decentralized currency with no central bank. It grew fast. Then came Ethereum. Then thousands of tokens, exchanges, apps, and NFTs. But here's the thing. In the US, there were no clear rules. Different government agencies all claimed jurisdiction. The Securities and Exchange Commission said some tokens were securities. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission said others were commodities. The IRS called crypto property. And most stablecoin issuers, they just operated in the shadows. For years, this confusion held back innovation and exposed users to risk. Then came scandals. Big collapses like Terra, which was a failed algorithmic stablecoin, and FTX, the massive crypto exchange that imploded in 2022. Suddenly, Congress and regulators couldn't ignore it anymore. Stablecoins, the part of crypto closest to real money, were the first in line for guardrails. And the Genius Act is the result. So what is a stablecoin? It's a type of digital money that tries to stay at a steady value, usually $1 per coin. Unlike Bitcoin, which goes up and down in price, stablecoins are designed to be, well, stable. And right now, they're everywhere in crypto. People use them to send money, to trade, to earn interest, even to pay for stuff. But until now, there were no real rules for how they should work, or who gets to create them. The Genius Act changes that. Let's take a step back. Not all cryptocurrencies are the same. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, those are what most people think of. They're open, decentralized, and their prices go up and down a lot. One day your Bitcoin might be worth $100,000. The next, maybe $90,000 or $110,000. That kind of volatility makes it hard to use as everyday money. That's where stablecoins come in. They're designed to stay pegged to a specific value, usually $1 per coin. So while Bitcoin might swing wildly, stablecoins aim to stay steady. You know what you're getting? One coin equals $1. That makes them powerful. Further, you can use stablecoins to send money instantly across borders, trade other crypto without using a bank, store digital dollars without opening a bank account, and earn interest or participate in new financial apps online. They're the bridge between crypto and the traditional money system. They've quietly become the backbone of the crypto economy, handling billions in transactions every day. Now here's something important. The Genius Act only regulates stablecoins, the digital dollars. It does not regulate Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other cryptocurrencies that aren't tied to the dollar. That's a separate debate, being handled by another bill called the Clarity Act, which is still moving through Congress. So if you're wondering what this means for your Bitcoin or your NFTs, nothing yet. The Genius Act is about guardrails for the stable stuff, not the Wild West. The Genius Act creates a rulebook for anyone who wants to issue a stablecoin in the US. Here's what it says. First, you need a license. You have to register with a government agency, either the Federal Reserve or a state regulator that's been approved. Second, you must keep every dollar fully backed. If there are 100 million stablecoins in circulation, there better be $100 million in safe reserves, like cash or short-term US treasuries. Third, you have to be transparent. That means regular public audits showing those reserves really exist. Fourth, The law bans risky algorithmic stablecoins. These use software to stay stable, not actual reserves, and have failed big in the past. Finally, it encourages interoperability. In plain English, stablecoins should work across platforms and apps just like bank transfers do. For years, crypto has lived in a gray zone, too new for old laws, too big to ignore. The Genius Act changes that. It gives crypto firms a path to legitimacy, with guardrails, and it opens the door to new players. Banks may start offering their own stablecoins, or build apps to send and receive digital dollars instantly. No more waiting 3 days for a transfer, no more weekend delays. It also shakes up the credit card giants like Visa and MasterCard. Today, when you swipe your card, a bunch of middlemen take a cut. Stablecoins can skip all that. They settle instantly with lower fees. That could be a threat or an opportunity for the likes of Visa and MasterCard. And for businesses, stablecoins could mean fewer fees and faster payments, especially across borders. So this isn't just about crypto. It's about how money moves and who controls it. And here's something that matters on a global scale. This could actually strengthen the US dollar. Right now, the dollar is the most used currency in the world for trade, for savings, for finance. Stablecoins, when done right, extend that power into the digital age. If people in other countries can easily access dollar-backed stablecoins instantly and securely, it keeps the dollar at the center of the global financial system. It's like giving the dollar a digital upgrade without needing a central bank digital currency just yet. In a world where other countries are racing to digitize money, the Genius Act helps keep the US competitive. Notably, this law had rare bipartisan support, meaning Republicans and Democrats backed it. It was also supported by the US Treasury, the Federal Reserve, and crypto companies like Circle and Paxos. So, why now? Because other countries were moving fast. Europe passed its own crypto rules. China launched a digital version of its currency. If America wanted to stay competitive and keep the dollar strong, it had to act. Some critics say the law favors the big guys, like banks and big tech, while smaller crypto innovators get boxed out. Privacy advocates are worried too. If digital dollars are regulated, they could also be traceable, raising fears about government surveillance. And the law still leaves out a lot. Bitcoin NFTs and DeFi or decentralized finance are untouched. So more regulation is probably coming. Now that it's law, the real work begins. Agencies like the Treasury and the Federal Reserve will set up the licensing system, auditing requirements, and enforcement rules. That could take 6 to 12 months or longer. In the meantime, expect a land grab. Every fintech and crypto company will want to become the go-to stablecoin wallet, like how Apple became the go-to for mobile payments. And this could be a step toward something bigger. A potential digital dollar issued by the US central bank itself, often called a CBDC, or central bank digital currency. That's still just an idea. But the Genius Act brings it closer. It brings real structure to a fast-moving space, gives legitimacy to digital dollars, and lays the groundwork for responsible innovation. There's still more to figure out, like how to regulate the rest of crypto, from Bitcoin to NFTs to DeFi platforms. But for the first time, there's a clear framework in place, one that protects users, supports business adoption, and strengthens the role of the US dollar in the digital economy. That's something worth building on. That's all for this episode. Thanks for tuning into Brain Snacks. Subscribe for more big ideas explained simply.